He's an imposter. And there is no second option for them. If they follow Christianity as is understood today by all the Christians of the world, then the Holy Prophet is nothing but an imposter. So why should you say a holy imposter? His Holiness the imposter. So that we understand is only a sign of courtesy. But courtesy compromises their faith. What we do when we say Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, Jesus Christ, blessings of Allah and peace be upon him, we do it according to the dictates of the Quran. As a Muslim, we have no other option but to accept him as a true person. Right?
Yeah.
So although sometimes they say to be kind to you, Holy Prophet, maybe also all right, but Jesus Christ plus Son of God, he was a prophet. That the second part, he is a prophet, is false. If he is a prophet, then Jesus was not the Son of God.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
I am Muhammad Kamara.
Muhammad Kamara.
Yes, born in Freetown.
Right. From Freetown.
Yes, sir. My question is not particularly of the Islamic belief, but it is more.
Anything. You're free to ask any question, please.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
I would like to know whether the Ahmadiyya is a different sect of Islam, and if it does believe in the death of Prophet Isa, who is Jesus,
Right.
and as there is a widespread belief among Muslims that he did not die on the cross.
See, Ahmadiyyat is not a sect of Islam. Ahmadiyyat is Islam. This is what we claim. See, there is no halfway position for Ahmadiyyat, because as against all the sects of Islam who are awaiting the ultimate arrival of a promised reformer, we believe that he has arrived. So if we are right, then their Islam has no longer any authenticity, any validity, because we have accepted the one who was sent by God, and we have been guided by him who was guided by God. So his Islam must be the right Islam. And that is exactly what was prophesied with reference to the advent of the Mahdi by the Holy Prophet of Islam. That he would sit on the chair of judgment. He would decide between the differences of one sect and the differences of another. And his will be the right guided judgment. And the same thing is also said with reference to Jesus Christ when he would come, as we understand, metaphorically next time. So either we are right, and if we are right, we are Islam, personified. We are representing Islam, and this is the only true version of Islam, because if we are right, then it is stamped by the one leader, in religious leader, who was guided by Allah himself, so he could not be wrong. The remaining are to be taken only as sects because they themselves claim that the divine reformer has not yet come. So we don't know, they don't know. They have no right to claim that only they are right as against the remaining of the 72. Because there is no divine stamp of the would-be reformer according to them. The reformer has not yet come, so I refer to him as would-be reformer. The would-be reformer, as long as he doesn't appear, they have no sanction, divine sanction in favor of their views. And the Holy Prophet says, when he comes, he will tell you who is right and who is wrong. So they have to be treated as sects in Islam. Those who follow the Imam Mahdi, they have only two possibilities. Either they are true Muslims and they alone are exactly the true Muslims as were seen in the early period of Islam. Because Imam Mahdi's training and bringing about would not be different from the early period of Islam. Or the Mahdi, the so-called Mahdi, is an impostor. So in that case, we are not a sect of Islam even then. If we are following an impostor, then we are outside the pale of Islam. So if we are Muslims, we are Muslims, the Muslims. And if the claimant is false, then we have nothing to do with Islam.
And as I said, I would like to know whether the Ahmadiyya does believe in the death of Christ.
We believe in the death of Jesus Christ, but not on cross. We believe that he was delivered from the cross alive. And God saw to it that he did not die upon the cross. And we believe it for so many reasons. Reasons which are rooted in some verses of the Quran, reasons which are rooted in the New Testament, reasons which are rooted in the Old Testament, reasons which belong to the common sense of man. What we believe is that he could not have been killed or murdered upon cross for so many reasons, one of them being that some of his prophecies had not yet got fulfilled, and they were divine words. Jesus was told by Allah, by God, that he would leave the people of Judea, those two tribes who were living in Judea, and go to the lost sheep of Israel, which were 10 tribes of Israel, which had migrated from the mainland of Judaism to other countries of the world, in East world. Now this is an accepted history, there is no debate on this issue. At the time of Jesus Christ, there were only 2 tribes of Israelites left in Palestine and areas around. And in the northern territory, northern regime of the Jews, they were, because of an invasion by Babylonians, etc., they were thrown out of their lands and they were forced to migrate, and that was the great exodus of the 10 tribes. So Jesus Christ told his followers that he would leave them and go to the lost sheep of Israel. If he died upon cross, as Christians believe, then what about that promise? If they say and insist that all right, the death was temporary and he ascended to the heaven within a few days afterwards, again the question still rises. Were the 10 tribes of Israel ascended also before him to the heaven? If not, then he could not have ascended to heaven without fulfilling his mission and his promise by conveying the message of his message to also the lost tribe of Israel. So this is a biblical evidence. The evidence of New Testament is so powerful, I don't see any route of escape for anyone who would disagree. He promised clearly, I'll leave you and go to the lost sheep of Israel, and we know the lost sheep of Israel did not ascend to heaven.